Your comfort zone does not need to hold you back. That's a misunderstanding a lot of people have. Today, I'm going to share some simple steps you can start taking today to easily move through your comfort zone to the other side, to start creating that big goal you've been thinking about and living your most fulfilled life. So stay tuned. I want to start by a definition and a little background on the comfort zone. This comes from our instinctual programming from when we first started evolving as humans. It was intended to keep us safe, mostly from physical dangers when we were cavemen. And what we knew, we identified as a safe zone. And places we hadn't gone before or things we hadn't done before, we instinctually had a fear of because it could pose a threat. That's where your comfort zone comes from. But of course, these days, we don't have a lot of physical dangers that are creating that resistance. It's all social anxiety and fear, things like fear of failure, fear of rejection. What if I make the wrong decision? What if people laugh at me? We have all of these fears that are holding us back. And a lot of times we don't see it as a fear. We may just be unrelentingly busy, so we never quite get around to pursuing our dream. You could find yourself in overwhelm or analysis paralysis or procrastination. That comes up a lot. That's actually fear of the unknown, something you haven't done before. And it could be something that analytically does not seem like you would be afraid of it, but your subconscious is still seeing it as a little or a lot of a threat because you haven't done it before, or you haven't been exposed to it before, or it's a new circumstance you haven't been in before. It can be small things, and you'll experience resistance, which is that conditioned response to something new. And your subconscious trying to keep you in what we all refer to as a comfort zone. So you can think of your comfort zone as a box around you, a box that's keeping you in one place that you're comfortable. But this box, once you become aware of it and that it's there, you can recognize that it's not made of stone or brick. It's not an actual box. It's malleable. And you can push on it, and it will stay where you push it. It will move. It will expand when you push on it. So the best way to get past this anxiety or this resistance, and again, it may not feel like fear, but once you recognize that there's something keeping you stuck that we refer to as subconscious resistance, that's your comfort zone kicking in. Once you recognize it, you can choose to take a step past it. And I use an analogy quite often about the water and being afraid of the water because you've never been near it or in it before. You're afraid of the water. Well, to overcome that fear, I don't ever recommend that you jump off the diving board headfirst into the deep end. Some people might recommend that. I would not. I would be terrified and I wouldn't do that. An easier way to approach it is acclimating over time. You might start by just sitting by the water and getting used to it and looking at it. And then maybe you move a little closer and put a toe in or your hand, and you just get used to it a little bit at a time. And you can do this the same way with anything that you're experiencing resistance on. You chunk it down into the smallest possible micro action you can take, and you take that tiny little step immediately because you're not going to have as much resistance. You take that tiny little step, and then your subconscious recognizes that you're still safe. Nothing happened. Nothing bad happened. You're still safe. And then you take another tiny little action. And you'll recognize as you take those small little actions, the resistance will start to dissipate and you'll be able to take bigger actions fairly quickly. Another technique I recommend, and you may think this is a little crazy, so just stay open and hear me out. Your subconscious hears you. And if you repeat something often enough, it will believe it. Actually, it doesn't take repeating it that much. If you say something 3 or 4 times, even if it's a falsehood, if it hears you that many times saying it, it will believe it. So you can tell your subconscious that you're going to do X, Y, or Z, and it's completely safe. And I am assuming here that you've done your due diligence and you have determined that it is a good move for you. You've determined that the benefits outweigh the risks and you want to do it. So you can tell your subconscious, this is safe. I am going to do this and it will be fine. I am completely safe and I'm going to do X. And between hearing you say that and then seeing you take those small steps, your subconscious will start to lessen the resistance and it will become easier and easier for you to move forward and do that big thing that you were experiencing resistance for. So I hope that helps. Go ahead and post in comments if you have any questions on this topic. Remember that resistance to stepping out of your comfort zone to do something new and different is completely natural. I used to beat myself up and think I was the biggest wimp on the planet because of the resistance and the fear that would come up sometimes for me because I had some big ideas. That's good. Stretch yourself. Do not beat yourself up, but start small. And whatever you do, don't just stay thinking about it. Thinking about it is going to create more fear and contribute to you feeling disempowered. Start taking tiny little actions right away. Be sure to hit subscribe while you're here, and I'll see you on the next video.